Hi guys, we're back on Dagobah with Melissa. We're at a dreamy dawn, early morning tour. Creator Insights with Melissa. So yeah, say hi, Melissa.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks for having me back.
I'm
Uh,
glad to have you back in the morning now.
yeah, it's so beautiful. All right, so how about you like lead me around and I'll just ask you some questions.
Okay, great. I'll probably take you on the same route we went on the island tour.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
it's an
so
idyllic route, so that works.
yeah, so
Cool.
this
So
is the entrance, and we'll
yeah,
go up here.
brilliant. So could you describe how you think of your island theme and what your main inspiration was?
Yeah, so I actually thought of this island theme basically when I started the game in March because I had a few camping trips actually canceled because of the lockdown.
Ah,
And I thought, oh, what a perfect way to, if I can't hike or camp in real life, I might as well kind of put that in the game. So that kind of led to the trail that we're going to go on later. And that's
mm-hmm.
actually the first thing that I made in the game was that trail. And then everything else kind of just flowed afterwards, I guess.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I remember you posting that trail. That's like the canyon trail, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, that just blew my mind. Well, we can talk about it a little bit more when we get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I've heard you describe it as like national park themed. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
And any specific national parks that you had in mind, or yeah?
Yeah, so I can mention it when we get there, but basically one of my favorite national parks is Zion National Park in Utah.
Mm.
So I was really inspired by that, and one area is actually really inspired by that. It's kind of like that narrow waterfall area we'll get to. But
Yeah.
so like a mixture of that and like Yosemite, Crater Lake is what that canyon area was kind of inspired by. That's why there's like an island in the center. But
Oh, okay.
overall, I was kind of like, I guess my whole island isn't a national park. I kind of wanted like that small town feel and like little areas for each type of villager home, different like scenic spots to walk to. Um, so yeah, like this poppy field actually was inspired by the California poppy fields.
Oh,
Um,
brilliant.
that was actually really big, I think last year or 2 years ago when there was like a super bloom. So this was kind of
Mm.
inspired by that.
That's really cool.
Hmm.
What I could do is I can insert pictures of your inspiration into the video. So if you send
Ooh.
them through to me, it'd be really cool to, yeah, like see that inspiration and your game.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Also, someone pointed out to me that poppies in America are orange, whereas poppies in my head are red.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's yeah, it's like just funny kind of cultural stuff or like
Yeah.
context. That's cool. So that sounds like you're very outdoorsy. Is that like a big part of your life?
Yes, I do love camping. When I grew up, my parents took me camping all the time. I think we had like a big road trip every year. And
Mm.
right now they're kind of older, so they upgraded. They go RVing now. My mom like wants to ditch the tent, so they're just RVing, but they're still going to like Yosemite every year. And like I guess I just got the love for the outdoors from them. So I'm
Yeah,
really
for sure.
grateful. And I guess right now it's really dark in here, but this is the trail that kind of was
Yeah.
inspired by the Narrows. It's basically in Zion, it's basically a hike that is mostly water. So you're walking in water with like these high cliffs around you, and it's really
Wow.
beautiful. And of course, naturally, in Animal Crossing, it had to add some like waterfalls and stuff. It's not really like that in real life, but I couldn't resist.
Yeah, the waterfalls just make everything extra.
Yeah.
It's extra. But
Mhm.
that's really cool. Like I think yeah, just when I was walking through this area with you, you can really get a sense that you were inspired by something because I don't know. I mean, at least me, I wouldn't think to terraform this way, but it just creates such an epic view and walkthrough as well. Like it just, yeah, it's really stunning. So
Oh,
I
I'm
think it,
glad.
yeah, it definitely translates that you had really amazing natural inspiration.
Yeah, and this
Um,
part, oh,
yeah,
sorry.
go on. No, no, go on.
Oh, just like this part, kind of inspired by beach camping here in California. It's like a big thing. So,
Mm,
yeah. And a lot of people don't camp with tents, if you knew. A lot of people just bring their sleeping bag out and
really?
that's all they have.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's even like nets that cover your face while you're in the sleeping bag so like bugs don't get in.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've only really gone camping in the UK, and
Mm.
honestly, it's so bloody freezing. Like, I went camping once in July, and we were wearing about 3 layers of clothes, and we all had to
Oh,
huddle together in the tent just for warmth. So I
in
can't
wait, in
imagine.
July, it
I
was
know.
freezing.
It's just British weather. You don't know what is ever gonna happen. And I also love this little area where you can get all your supplies for your trail cycles or hikes or whatever. That's yeah. Where'd you get this idea from?
So a lot of national parks I visited, including Zion, they all have kind of like little outfitters outside, so you
Mm-hmm.
can easily rent gear. Actually, for the Narrows, Zion has this area where you can rent like water pants because you have to go in the water, and
Oh
sometimes it's cold.
wow.
So you can rent like actual water pants and shoes and like a bunch of gear. So I kind of wanted to incorporate that here to make it a little more realistic, I guess.
It really does, and it just adds so much character to it. Because I think, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like really beautiful cottagecore, natural, etc. islands, but this one just really cemented that this is, a national park, and it's for nature lovers, and yeah, it was really cool. Um, and then, so we're heading over to the trail that you mentioned was one of the first things you made, right?
Yes.
So where did you start with this? Like what was like did you start with inspiration or did you just start terraforming? Like how did that come about?
I think so. The first thing I did was this kind of view. I think I knew I wanted a view that was like Crater National Park, which is
Mhm.
basically their main um I guess vista point would be this huge lake, and in the center there's kind of this little land like piece of land or an island with like trees and foliage, and I really loved that scene. So I
Mm.
wanted to recreate that. I mean, along in a few weeks, like I did edit like certain flowers and decor and like the terraforming around it, but this part really stayed. I
Mhm.
even made this part before I put the museum out in front as an entrance because I kind of wanted to treat that as like the museum visitor center,
Mhm.
which is
Oh, that's
usually in the start
cool.
of every like national park. So this is kind of like the visitor center, and I know a lot of people do like these grand like entrances for the museum, but I
Mhm.
kind of wanted to subdue it a little and just make it a trailhead.
Yeah, I really like that. I love the different ways that people can incorporate the museum into the island and just it yeah, it fits with your theme so well. And yeah, so terraforming this area must have taken a bit of time. Like, what was your process like?
So well, I started this kind of recently, so I don't think I did this when I was building this, but I do like to sketch things out. Like I think I like printing out my map
Mm-hmm.
and actually drawing on it and kind
Oh,
of like
wow.
figuring out what kind of space to create.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I knew I wanted kind of this. I mean, obviously the lake in the middle is unused, like you can't walk through it or anything. So it is like an unusable piece of land.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to kind of build it enough where I could still have a trail in the backside because it's kind of close to the ocean. So
Mm.
think I just like flattened it out, terraformed around it, made sure I had room for the little island and lake, and then I think I just went to this spot to just like look at it and see what I needed to edit. And then I would have to go down and like waterscape again. And yeah, I
Wow,
think
that's
even till
amazing.
today, I'm like editing it a little. I think I edited that little waterfall in the middle from our island tour.
Oh,
Sorry.
really? I haven't
Yeah.
I didn't notice, but I think it just all always looks amazing. And so you sketch out on paper. Do you do that for a lot of areas or just this one?
I do actually. Like for if you follow or if you see my Instagram, I had like a stargazing cafe. I actually did sketch that out.
Hmm.
And yeah, any big terraforming kind of areas, I try to sketch it out too. Just so
Yeah,
I know like where to put the villager homes.
yeah.
And it really helps, even if it's not perfect, it kind of helps you visualize from the map.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea because I've definitely gotten caught out before with like one square too little or two squares too little, and it's just
Hmm.
so painful having to kind of redo it all from that point.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Another bit I love is I think you were the first person I ever saw to do this bridge over a waterfall. I think
Oh,
it's so stunning. Um, yeah, like did that take you a while to work out, or you just knew you could do that and you wanted to do that?
not to disappoint, but that was kind of an accident. I just like I think I built
Happy
this
accident.
trail. Yeah, I built this trail and I knew I wanted this waterfall to like lead to the river or like continue on to the backside. And
Hmm.
then of course naturally like just have a bridge here. And it I didn't even intend it to be visible like from the beginning of the trail, so it was a happy accident.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm actually because I'm redesigning my island now, and
Hmm.
I'm genuinely like trying to figure out where I can have a bridge like that. Like I'm like, where can I have a Dagobah moment? So yeah, definitely very inspired by you. Um, cool. And then uh yeah, so you have this sweet little campsite here. It's such a gorgeous little glamping area. Is that inspired by your parents' upgrade?
Actually, well, a little, but actually, there's a lot of glamp sites. That sounds really
Hmm.
bougie, but glamp sites in California.
Hmm.
Um, and surprisingly, like a lot of them actually look like this. Like they're mostly in yurts, and you know,
Hmm.
there's like canvas,
Yeah.
big canvas tents. And on Pinterest, I did see. I took a lot of inspo from Pinterest because I did see a glamp site with literally a tub outside.
So
I
good.
yeah, and I saw some with like the toilet. There's this really cool site called Hip Camp,
Hmm.
and it's where people they kind of it's like Airbnb, but for basically people who own empty land and make it like a campsite basically.
That is
And there,
cool.
yeah, there's this one in California where the toilet area is literally on a cliff and your view is like the mountains. It's kind of crazy.
So you're
So I got
peeing
that.
into the abyss.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so funny. I love that. Cool. And so you've talked about like kind of your big area planning process. For smaller bits, like what do you start with? Do you start with terraforming, decorating? Like what comes first?
Oh, I definitely start with terraforming.
Mm-hmm.
I clear out all the flowers and trees and I make sure the spot is empty and then if it has to have like a big feature like the campsite, I
Mm-hmm.
would kind of like dig holes to how big the campsite would be, just so I don't waste time.
Oh,
You know, I don't waste time placing it and realizing, oh, everything like doesn't fit around it,
yeah.
and then having to like move it again and everything. So I actually either dig holes or put like
That's really
items
smart.
just in case because it's such a pain to like move buildings and stuff.
Yeah,
So I do
definitely.
that, and then I usually map it out, and then I'll place the big item and just decorate around it. So decorations for sure last. Oh, and I
Okay.
actually changed the spot from our island tour. It's
Yeah,
actually
that does look
open now.
different. Yeah, that's cool. I like it. So are you constantly just like tweaking areas? Like, do you have any future plans for Dagobah?
Oh yeah. So I don't know if you noticed, but I do have this like I kind of blocked it here, but the left part of my island basically is still under works. So
Ah,
I
okay.
stealthily blocked it out. I am planning to do kind of like I just need to fill that area up. I'm planning to do maybe like a waterfall cafe or something on the
Ooh.
beach. So,
Ooh, I love that
yeah.
idea. Waterfall cafe. Nice. Um, and yeah, we're coming up to an area that I love. Like your A, your fishing deck, and B,
Oh
this
yeah.
little waterway. So yeah, how did this come about?
So the deck over there, so I call it Bo's Lake House,
Mm-hmm.
um, basically inspired by Big Bear. I mean, I guess there's a lot of lake houses all around the world,
Mm-hmm.
but we recently went to Big Bear and Airbnb like a cabin last year that
Mm-hmm.
had they didn't come with like boats or anything, but it had like a dock, it had a balcony, it was like really beautiful, and I kind of just wanted to recreate the idea of like a dock. Plus, I was seeing everyone like decorating their piers,
Mm-hmm.
like on the side of the beach, and I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking, why can't we have like a pier? It would be nice to have a pier like in front of a house, like not on the
Yeah.
beach, in the woods. So I kind of
Yeah.
just tried to recreate that with the terraforming and custom code.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's such a unique idea. I love it. And another cool house idea you had is the tree house.
Oh yeah, here, let's go.
Yeah, and so how did that come about?
This was also inspired by a place that I stayed in Airbnb, um, in kind of central California,
Mm-hmm.
where it was like this tree house Airbnb, and you parked your car and you actually had to walk like half a mile
Wow.
into like the redwoods, and there was just like a little tree house. And it literally had this view where it was a little bridge with like the trees surrounding it. And I was like,
It's
I need to
amazing.
build a tree house somehow.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's such a cool idea, and you really get the sense of the forest with all those trees you have around. It's beautiful. Um, Amazing. So, what are my other questions? What are your favorite items to decorate with?
I love the garden rock. That sounds so boring, but I love the garden rock because I mean, I try to get all natural
Yeah,
and
yeah,
realistic. So I feel like it always like fits everywhere. Um,
for
and
sure.
right now my most recent like favorite thing is probably dropping pine cones everywhere.
Oh, yeah, I love
Yeah, not great
those.
for my island rating, but really cute.
Yeah, yeah, I've given up on my island rating.
Yeah, I will forever be at a 4, and it's okay. I've come to terms with it.
But yeah, no, I can't remember if I said it on the tour, but I think yours is like the most realistic natural island I've been to. And like you really achieve it with all of these like the garden rocks and the other items you have on your cliffs. Like I'm sometimes tempted to just put random things like I'll put like I don't know, like a box and then a book and then a chair and things that just wouldn't be on a cliff, whereas yours just feels entirely natural, which I think is just a really cool touch.
Yeah, I sometimes I struggle with that because I'm like, is it too boring if I don't put like something cool on a cliff? But but yeah, I'm like, okay, I'll just stick with like realistic. Like if you notice I don't have that many like um, I guess magical things around.
Hmm.
Except I think the mush log is like the most like themed thing I have. So I
But
struggle
those,
with like
but that's
balancing
realistic
that.
too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not like a mush lamp. I love the mush
Yeah.
lamps, but they're not realistic.
Yeah, so I did that was a goal while like decorating and stuff to kind of just keep it realistic. Even like with my house, I
Hmm.
wanted it kind of to be like a cabin feel. I don't know if we want to go in.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, I was. I definitely got that feeling when I was touring. It's just it feels very very realistic, like a little cabin that you'd rent in the woods, and I loved how you had. I think did you have the same flooring and wallpaper throughout, or in just a lot of the rooms?
Yeah, I have them in all the rooms. It's the wooden knot wallpaper
Mm-hmm.
that's a DIY, and I think the wooden knot flooring,
Mm-hmm.
except the basement. The
Okay.
basement I
Yeah.
wanted like a whole different vibe. But
Yeah.
yeah, I try to keep the house really simple. I love the flooring and the wallpaper. I think it looks like so realistic.
It really does.
And I also didn't want to make like a whole room too extravagant. Um, like in the beginning, I made like a whole room the kitchen, and I just
Mm-hmm.
thought it was like too big. So I
Mm-hmm.
really wanted to just like try to fit a living room and kitchen in one like small room just to make it feel like
Yeah.
cozy.
Yeah, it's super cozy and really, 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 really realistic. Like it's, yeah, you just fully achieve that. It's so good. Um, and what's your like? What are your favorite villagers?
Oh, I love Chevre. I don't know if I say her name right, but I love her. I think she's so cute. She's like a
She's
little
so
goat
sweet.
villager. Yeah. So she'll stick with me forever. And I do love Bo. I know he's everyone's favorite, but I think he's adorable.
Bo is adorable. He I my friend actually found him on a mystery island and didn't want him, and I was like, please get him for me.
He's
And she
too
was such a
cute.
sweetheart. Yeah, yeah. He just I love when he just chats about bugs and calls me Salt Lick. Um, and do you have any advice for people who are kind of stuck and they don't really know what to do with their island?
I guess my advice would be kind of like how I did mine. I really like taking examples from real life.
Mm-hmm.
And Pinterest is like your best friend if you have a specific idea, like glamp site, and then
Yeah,
you'll start to see like items that are in the game that you can actually like put together, or it can bring out like new ideas.
yeah,
Um, so I would recommend that. Also, like sketching out really helped me like plan out terraforming and decorating. So I really recommend that.
yeah. That's brilliant. I just noticed your flag. It's really cool.
Oh yeah, I actually got that from Pinterest. It's like a Star Wars flag. I know my island is named after a Star Wars planet and it's not Star Wars themed, but I really like that flag.
That's cool how it ties together. It just looks natural to me. I don't. Is it the gray thing at the top? Is that the Star Wars bit?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that like the
The
Death
two
Star or
gray
something?
things. Yeah, I think it's like the Death Star and the little gray thing
Oh
next to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I finally see that. Yeah. No, I mean, from afar it just looks like clouds over
Yeah, actually, you're
over
right.
the woods. Yeah. Cool. Well, those are my questions. Thank you so much for having me back. If people want to follow you, you're on Instagram, right?
Yes. And I just started on Twitter too.
Awesome. So on Instagram, you're dagobah.isle. Is it the same on Twitter?
It's the same except instead of dot, it's an underscore.
Okay, brilliant. I'll
Yeah.
link all of that in the description. And thanks again for having me.
Thank you so
Um,
much.
I hope you guys enjoyed that Creator Insights video. Please follow Melissa and like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll come back with a new tour next time. Bye, guys.